It just really works. So fast, so nimble. You can kind of play it as a light tank. I feature optics very often on it. And you can kind of play it as a light too. Very good tank. I have 500-600 games on it. It's number 2 or 3, number 3 most played tank on my account. I still remember that game, the 11 kills. I'm pretty sure I have it. I have the replay saved just as a file, although it's very outdated now. It's like 9 years ago or something, or even 10. But if I download an old version of the game, and if I manage to install it, I might just be able to run that replay. Show you those 11 kills on an old game engine, before the graphics update, before everything. Back in the day, it was possible for tier 5 to meet tier 3, and I had an insane matchmaking. There were only 2 tier 5s per team, and there were like 2 or 3 tier 4s, and everything else was tier 3. Man, it was godlike matchmaking. Absolutely godlike matchmaking. In those times, the matchmaker could give you really shitty MM like that. I mean, that was really great for me, but it was definitely shitty for all those tier 3s there. The tier 6 is also good. Yes, it is, yeah. There was ramming, yeah. In the end, it was Murovanka encounter. And at the end of the match, there were like 3 tanks capping. And I remember going up on the higher ground, just beneath the cap, and just going full speed, ramming one guy, while at the same time auto-aiming to shoot another guy. So I'm ramming one, shooting the other, they both die at the same time, so I flank around some other guys, and man, it was crazy in the end. And before that, I got jumped by 3 or 4. They jumped me at the same time, but they were tier 3, so they were just bouncing or missing or just doing little damage, and I just killed them all alone. That was just funny, man. That was just funny stuff. Fond memories. Some games you never forget, you know? They're just too weird and too funny. We play so many thousands at the end of the day, and you have very little memory of most of them, but some, a chosen few, you never forget, really. Back before you even had this armor indicator of knowing where you're going to pan or not pan. I can't imagine ramming a tier 3 with this. Oh, try. It was very possible back in the day. I gotta tell you, I did a good amount of it in that tank. Part of the reason why I loved it so much, it was meeting tier 3 relatively frequently, in tier 4s as well, and man, that was fun. You can outmaneuver them, you can outram them, you can outgun them, everything you wished. The turning speed is insane. It's not just good, it's insanely good. Traverse is excellent. I have it free marked, Panzer 3-4, and Matilda Black Prince actually as well. I have that one free marked. From way back in the day. Way back in the day, shenanigans from back in the day, man. And people say the matchmaker is not good. If you've been playing 10 plus years, you know it was way worse. It was just way worse. It was definitely worse back in the day. So many weird things can happen. Not even mention that when I started playing the game, anyone could platoon with anyone. You could have a mouse platooning with tier 1, and that was happening a lot actually. Because those tier 1s actually had really good camo rating. They were used in some competitive play. There was always a tier 1 tank in the match, hidden in some kind of weird bush. because it's so small, the tier 1 tank with such good camo rating, you could basically never find it. And so it was, yeah, there was like a competitive mode of the early days called team battles, and there was always a tier 1 tank because you had certain amounts of something like credits. Like if you take a tier 10, it takes X amount of credits. If you take a tier 8, it takes less credits. So you could make a configuration which is strong that just about has enough space to fit in a tier 1. In addition, yeah, people were trolling, man. Back in the day, you had team damage. You could damage your allies with damage literally. You could platoon with anything. Free light tanks could platoon on tier 8 or tier 9 and whatever. Just don't get me started. All sorts of bullshit. All sorts of bullshit. Like you could write a small book of how much this game improved over time. I know people whine a lot, but you know, for those of us who have been playing a long time, we know it's so much better than it used to be for many reasons. Some things probably we can argue got a little worse in some shapes or forms, but generally mechanics, physics, matchmaking, maps, balance, everything improved compared to how it used to be, how the game started. There is a lot of nostalgia for back in the day and some of the goofy shit we experienced, but the game is definitely better now than it used to be. Even before this 2.0 now, you know, I'm strictly speaking before 2.0 now. The game as it is today is so much better than it used to be back in the day. Life Facts of Artie, 4 degrees in damage. Plus some ass. Damage. Minus 11 degrees in XP. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm following the math or the formula there, but I can tell you also that artillery did not have stun back in the day, but it had monstrous damage, especially the higher tiers. If they pen you, 2000 damage was possible for artillery to do. And that was very infuriating. Driving your tank, getting into position, and you get one shot by artillery, 2000 damage. Boom, you're gone. Just like that. That was happening a lot as well. So people say now, you know, the stun mechanic is very annoying. It was better before, but before they did so much damage, dude. You know, he splashes next to you, it's 500. You know, 500-600 for a small splash next to you. Would you like that back? You know, I'm just not so sure. Not so sure. I'm not so sure, to be honest. I'm not saying I like the stun mechanic. It's very annoying. But at the same time, a good argument could be made that it's maybe overall better now. Well, Type 5 Heavy, you need to specifically go to those positions which are arty safe because they will focus you, yeah. Big, slow targets, just too easy. Just too easy to target. You got a little lucky here. If this arty hits you, it could have been a GG. Or close to. It wasn't too far away. It just hit the ridgeline by a little bit. Half a meter higher and it hits you. Back in the day, we had assault on this map. The cap circle was here. The cap circle was here. The defender spawned all the way up here, and the attackers down here to attack from both sides. Anybody remember that stuff? Yeah, man, with freaking dinosaurs. Freaking dinosaurs here. And the maps looked so horrible. It was so difficult to figure out who is where. Just the sheer graphics of the way the map looked like. So much worse. So much worse than today. Absolutely no health indicators or stuff like that. You know, forget about that. Of any kind. The health indicator up here did not exist. The health indicator on the map did not exist. Lots of things. Encounter on this map was always cap circle over here, and the teams spawn more or less the same positions as they do on normal map, but there used to be assault here, yeah. Crazy enough, there used to be assault here. Weird shit, weird shit. Now it's a little bit tricky now. You don't want to be spotted there. You kind of want to get rid of them too. You're not abundant in HP. You can definitely bounce. If anything, your weak spot is basically the turret. The hull is troll armor on this tank for sure. It can bounce a lot. It's trollololo armor, but the turret is kind of weak. This guy could have fired at you a million times over. Just decided not to. Nice fire. These cavies in their backs, man. Their trollololo backs and sides. That was damage. I really don't know why he didn't fire at you earlier. When you were here, spotted and vulnerable. And he had a shot from there. A lot of things which you see now in the game, such as these circles, they were only available through modifications. They were not in the game. You had to install mods to see these things. They were still working as intended, but face hook that guy now. He bounces once, you ram him. Yeah, he doesn't know where to shoot. He's panicking. For all intents and purposes, that's actually a strong tier 4. If he knows what he's doing anyway. He doesn't. And also the spotting circle used to be a square, if you can imagine that. So diagonally you had more view range than you did straight up or straight to the sides. Diagonally you had more thanks to the edge of the, you know, square. Now it's circular around your tank. It used to be a square. Stupid as it sounds, it really was. I can keep going on and on and on about things that got better over time. Really, on and on and on. Nice game, man. Very nice game. Almost 3k on a tier 5 is very, very solid. Very solid. Lots of kills as well. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, good stuff.